This is the nutritional supplement presentation on omega-3 fatty acids by Monique Neuenschwander and Gabriella Scotch for Psychopharmacology. So what is the big deal of these omega-3 fatty acids? Well, primarily it's a key building block of cell membranes in a variety of animals and functional organisms. So omega-3 comes in a variety of foods that we eat, mainly from things like fish, mackerel, salmon, cod liver, sardines are the highest concentration of omega-3 fatty acid. Plants will also have omega-3 fatty acids. Flaxseed, soybean, chia seeds, and walnuts and canola oil also have omega-3 fatty acid. Now, not all omega-3 fatty acids are considered the same kind of fatty acid. The fish oils will have the DHA and ALA oil. The plants will not. Now, the human body can replicate low levels of DHA and EPA by forming carbon-to-carbon double bonds after the ninth carbon from the methyl end of a fatty acid. But the only way to really get the amount of the supplement that your body needs is from ingestion. Now, in order to understand what an omega-3 fatty acid is, also known as a PUFA, you have to know that it's a polyunsaturated fatty acid, hence the term PUFA for short. Fish oils, also known as omega-3, are called this because it has 3-carbon chain before the double bond in the chain, which will repeat throughout that chain. PUFAs are frequently designated by their number of carbon atoms and a double bond. ALA, for example, also known as C18-3N3, because it has 18 carbons and 3 double bonds, and it is a 3 or omega-3 fatty acid. Fatty acids can be used as a storage molecule. Glycerol and triglycerides stored in the adipose tissue. There are 3 fatty acid chains attached to a glycerol backbone. Synthesis occurs in the liver, which is why it's a triglyceride. So the omega-3 fatty acid has a multitude of body functions and mechanisms, and is important to the muscles because beta oxidation occurs in the mitochondria of the muscles. There are several interactions that omega-3 have on our body. It aids in the insulin resistance by modulating mitochondrial bioenergies and stress on the endoplasmic reticulum. Also, in part by increasing the fatty acids that metabolize more proficiently and decrease our other fatty acids, such as saturated fats, by allowing and assisting them to assist the microbiota in the gut to pass them. While they also help our cells, they're highly important for the brain development, eye and brain development, for cardiovascular function, and it also shows anti-inflammatory actions, which I'm going to talk about later. More importantly, the omega-3 provides our body with energy, which helps support our systems such as cardiovascular and endocrine. Omega-3 acids help all of the cells in our body to function. They play important roles in the body because they form the phospholipids, which is the base structure for the cell membranes, which provides the structure and supporting interactions between cells. Omega-3 is in most of the infant formulas for the purpose of the DHA and the ARA because they are building blocks for the eye and brain development. They are derived from an algae and it's believed to have similar or the same bioavailability as fish or krill omega-3 oil. So the anti-inflammatory properties of omega-3 are being investigated, and this is some explanation as to why it is that omega-3 reduces inflammation in different mechanisms in the body. Again, it's been used in the development of cancer research, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, irritable bowel disease, cardiovascular problems, etc., etc., etc. So omega-3 fatty acids decrease blood triglycerides in a dose-dependent manner. Elevated triglycerides are common in type 2 diabetes. Omega-3 has also been implicated in improving joint tenderness, rheumatoid arthritis, but not necessarily joint pain. And other conditions include inflammatory bowel disease, renal disease, lupus, bone fractures, but the evidence of improvement in these morbidities is much less known. I talked about DHA being used in baby formula, and it's also a high concentration in fish oils. But there's two of these that are essential fatty acids because your body can only produce very small amounts of them. So the DHA and the EPA, your body can produce very small amounts or get from um, some from chicken and beef, but the highest concentration is going to be in your fish oils. So as we know, not all fatty acids are created equal, and the PUFA, the polyunsaturated fats, are the kinds with more than one double bond and the three types that exist I had mentioned before. The important thing to note here is that omega-3 and omega-6 is not exactly the same. While omega-3 can have anti-inflammatory responses, omega-6 can actually increase those. So in items like chicken and fish, fish has the omega-3 and chicken and beef often have omega-6. They kind of conflict with each other because the omega-6, again, can cause an inflammation response. But the irony to that is that our body can convert small amounts of the omega from chicken and fish into the DHA and EPA in our body in very small quantities. So this slide goes through how it is that the omega-3 interacts with the body systems to prevent inflammation on different systems. It assists with oxidative stress, therefore acting on the neurotransmission systems. Then it helps with the neural and synoptic plasticity, and it assists with the neural inflammation. Now, why is it so important to lower these triglycerides as we talk about? Well, the triglycerides are part of the fatty acids that actually wind up causing atherosclerosis. And atherosclerosis leads to heart conditions. So all of those kinds of cascades now are going to lead to heart conditions and chronic inflammation. So by reducing these triglycerides, we can lower our risk for cardiovascular illness. So this chart kind of grossly explains the simplified version of how the theory is about how triglycerides are able to be reduced in the body by omega-3. So currently there are two medications that are FDA approved for hyperlipidemia. The mechanism of action is not completely understood, but it does lower the production of the triglycerides by the liver, thus keeping the concentration of LDA to HDL's a better balance. Adverse effects can include thinning of the blood, so you must be monitored by a physician while on this medication. Again, it is considered a medication because the FDA regulates the concentrations, whereas OTC supplements may not regulate the concentrations and they may vary from supplement to supplement. Now, this I copied from an information fact sheet about the actual medication that is one of the omega-3 fatty acids that's prescribed. It's called Lovansa, and it is a combination of ethyl esters of omega-3 fatty acids. It says the dosage is 4 grams a day. Patients should be advised to swallow with capsules whole. Don't break open, don't crush, don't chew. So all of these things are regulated much differently, and this is the chart um, from the medication. So Visipa is the second medication that's used to help lower low-density triglycerides, and it works through the liver system and in the bloodstream. It has blood-thinning properties because it blocks platelets from bunching up in the vessels, and it also prevents a risk for heart attack and stroke. There's two links at the bottom of this slide that give more information from the Food and Drug Administration about this drug. So other clinical applications and ongoing research with the omega-3 fatty acid is for cardiovascular disease, hyperglycemia, type 2 diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's disease and dementia, depression, visual and neurological brain development, maternal health during pregnancy and child health, conditions benefiting from prebiotics, heart failure, intervertebral disc degeneration, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, maternal depression, menopause, night sweats, rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, periodontal disease, epilepsy, diabetic retinopathy, Efficacy, tolerability, and side effects of chemotherapy, premenstrual syndrome, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So there's constantly ongoing research into multiple sclerosis and how omega-3 can help to preserve the myelin and prevent degeneration. ALS is another significant disorder that has degeneration of the muscles, and it's believed that the omega-3 can help with that degeneration. In lung disorders, there's research developed a two-part study that's investigating the link between the omega-3 fatty acids and the um, lung inflammation that's happening in the lung, which is damaging the tissue. So there's always going to be ongoing research. This is our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. For further information, you can check out our citations and some more citations.